Hello, and welcome back to the We Don't Want a Podcast. This is a show where two certified dipshits make uncertified takes about your favorite series. We are your hosts. I am Zach. Joining me as always, he always says, do not give up on the gravy. It is Scotty motherfucking Westside.
You cannot give up on the gravy.
You can't do it.
You just can't do it.
The baby gravy, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, that's the kind of gravy you never give up on.
Never.
I actually didn't give up on gravy just yesterday. I had some delightful chicken and waffles.
Oh, right, from your fancy new breakfast place.
Yeah. With some delightful white gravy, and I ate the shit out of all that white gravy. So
you do love that white gravy.
I love white gravy, and I love.
Was it sausage gravy?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And I love chicken and waffles, so I pounded the shit out of that. So
hell yeah, dude. You got a good pounding and then that white gravy everywhere. I love that. Love that for you.
There's just no talking to you sometimes. All the time, really.
It's like we do a podcast, but you can't talk to me.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly like that.
Yeah,
for sure.
How you doing this week, man?
I am good. It's the last day of my weekend, so I'm a little sad, but other than that, and you're just like coming into your long weekend. I have a long weekend.
The company I work for hooks us up whenever there's a holiday. They always give us an extra day off, like around the weekend. So Monday is, what is it? It's Labor Day, right?
Labor Day, yeah.
Labor Day, and we're off today, Friday and Monday. So sick, got a 4-day weekend.
It's pretty sick. I am off Monday, so this next upcoming
nice.
work week will be shorter. But
that's cool. I mean, like I work a 9 to 5, like kind of a phone job, insurance, so it makes sense. But you work in retail, and that's sick that you get
man.
Labor Day off.
Yeah, they take good care of us, so gotta say
that's awesome.
So how about your
Scott,
week, pal? How was your week?
It was kind of mid.
Okay, fair enough.
It was kind of mid. I don't have anything great to report.
All right,
had a couple of anxiety attacks, so that wasn't tight.
Oh yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah, no. Work was fine though. There has been some good stuff going on. At the time of us recording this, we're 2 episodes into House of the Dragon, which is fantastic. And today,
you probably know how we felt about episode 2. If you've watched that.
Yes, yeah, y'all are probably much further than when this episode is airing.
Yeah.
And also at the time of recording this, today is the day that 2 episodes of The Rings of Power.
That is correct.
So there's a lot of cool stuff. It's a good time to be a fantasy lover, I think.
Yeah, no, I'd agree.
It's just great. It's just so fun to be encompassed in all this stuff.
We have both watched only the first episode of Rings of Power.
Yeah, Amanda and I had some stuff to do today, so we only knocked out 1 episode.
What did you think about it?
Oh, it's beautiful. It is just truly gorgeous and a bit more fantastical than I think I was maybe expecting, but
well, that's kind of
that's the second age. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be.
Yes, especially early. Yeah.
I thought it was beautiful. I don't give a shit about the Harfoots at all. They're fucking cringe and corny.
100%. Basically, every time the elves were on screen, I was bought in. Anytime anything else was happening, I was 100% checked out. So that might be an issue going forward. I don't know how big of a role they're gonna play.
Right.
Galadriel's a badass. She's cool
a badass.
As hell.
Yeah.
And it was very beautiful. And I don't know if I've ever thought about this thoroughly before, but I do think I prefer kind of more Game of Thrones low fantasy brand than like the super high fantasy.
Totally.
Not that I'm like against it, but like the grimy politics is where I truly like love.
Right.
So
well, I feel like, I mean, obviously we can definitely be proven wrong, but I feel like we're gonna get some, like, it may not be as grimy.
Yes.
But we've been shown a lot of like elves, which they can be, backstabby and schemy, but I think once we learn more about the realms of men and what they're doing with their politics and the dwarves, I think we're going to get a lot of that, which or I would hope that we would get more of that.
I agree.
Because that's really what I want to see in this world.
I agree. Also, very happy to see my dude Lord Elrond. It's not the same when it's not, Hugo Weaving.
Hey, but it's young Ned
goat.
Stark.
That's right, it is. Yeah,
it is young Ned Stark. Tower of Joy Ned Stark.
Still not the same, because Hugo Weaving is the goat. So
yeah,
but
yo,
it's
actually,
still cool to see him.
I wanted to tell you this. Amanda pointed out to me that I don't know her name, but the human woman, that was with the elf, Alandor. It is, I forget her name from How I Met Your Mother, but it's the first girl that Barney falls in love with, the British woman.
I thought she looked familiar.
Yeah,
she's cute.
She is a cutie. Definitely.
Anyway, we're not here to fully talk about Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power. We are here to talk about Game of Thrones, of course, episode 37, Mockingbird. I'm just going to go ahead and get out in front of this one right away. That's Mockingjay, first of all. Also, that book is absolute fucking trash. Unlike this episode, I'm going to go out here and say that this episode is fan-fucking-tastic.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, like, we have circle jerked each other enough about how great season 4 is. I mean, this is just the fruit of that labor.
Yes.
This is, it's just great.
I think we talked about it, was it last episode, how kind of, there are a few kind of lesser episodes through the middle, but once it hits this point in the season, it puts the hammer down, and it literally does not stop with great episodes till the end of the season. And that continues here. Let's jump in, Zach. Why don't you start us off here with the recap of Mockingbird?
Yeah, I can do that for us. Let's see. Here we are. All right. So we begin with Jaime being very pissed off at Tyrion for throwing away the deal that he made for him. Tyrion is at least glad that he got to make his big speech and ruin Tywin's plans. Jaime admits that he can't fight at all with his left hand, and Tyrion hopes Bronn will fight for him again. Cersei intends to name the mountain 5.0 or some shit like that.
Whatever number
the
we're on.
The remix, the fucking
big remix.
As her champion, and watches him slaughter some prisoners. She comments that he seems to be in good form, and I comment that he seems to have the world's tiniest nipple. You fucking idiot. That is a giant man for some tiny nipple.
I can barely even see him. I was like,
where's coming
Waldo?
From you though? You have giant
I have
nipples.
Giant nipples. It's true. I was like playing World's Waldo though. I was like, where are his nipples at?
Where are those little babies? They're actually truly the size of like salami, like pepperoni cuts, but it's just he's so giant.
He's giant. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
Arya and the Hound come upon a dying farmer, and the three of them get philosophical before the Hound gives him a quick death. Biter and Rorge appear, and Biter has a chomp on the Hound's neck before the Hound kills him. Rorge tells them that Joff is dead and that there is a bounty on the Hound's head. Arya stabs him through the heart, and the Hound approves. At the wall, Jon and his ranging party return, and Sir Alistair gives them a very warm welcome.
Very warm.
Very warm. Jon argues that they should seal the tunnel because the gates will not stop 100,000 wildlings with giants. Sir Alistair shoots him down and gives Jon and Sam top-of-the-wall night duty. Fancy Pants, Sir Bronn of the Blackwater, visits Tyrion and tells him that Cersei has arranged for him to marry Lawless Stokeworth and eventually become Lord of Stokeworth. He says that if Tyrion wants him to kill the mountain for him, he better have a damn big castle to give him. Tyrion tries to negotiate with him and even pulls the friendship card, but Bronn says the risk is simply not worth it. They part on good terms, but it's also a very sad parting of the ways.
So sad. So sad.
Is this you or is this me?
No, this is still you. This is the last one for you.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, one more, bud.
Appreciate it,
You're
pal.
almost there.
I don't know what to do with my hand. Of course you give me a fucking Danny paragraph, you asshole.
Yeah, of course.
In the East, Daenerys has Dario 2.0 do a striptease, and they do the hot, sweaty, nasty.
Ooh.
I'm a fan because Danny. Whew. Jorah arrives next morning and is absolutely decimated by Dario 2.0 before he can even get into the room. Daenerys says she is sending Dario to retake Yunkai and slaughter every single master there. On brand.
Yes.
Jorah argues against this and convinces Daenerys to reconsider. She decides to send his Dar with Dario to explain to the slavers that they can end slavery or die.
On Dragonstone, Queen Selyse is jealous of how hot Mel is, and is also terrible at getting jokes. Selyse wants to leave Shireen behind when they set sail, but Mel says no, that the Lord of Light needs her. Somewhere on the road, the Hound's bite wound is looking real nasty, and Arya wants to burn out the corruption with fire. The Hound freaks out and confirms the story of how his brother burned his face. Arya offers to at least wash it out and sew it up for him, and he relents. At the inn at the crossroads, Brienne and Pod are having a nice meal when our Lord and Savior, Azor Ahai, aka Hot Pie, returns!
Azor Hot Pie?
Don't get him started on the gravy! You cannot give up on the gravy! I also had that joke in here. Brienne tells Hot Pie that they are looking for Sansa Stark, and he tells her that he knows Arya, and that last he knew, the Brotherhood Without Banners were taking her to Riverrun. Pod speculates that since Arya's family at Riverrun is dead, she might be at the Eyrie instead. Back at King's Landing, Oberyn visits Tyrion in his cell and delivers an absolutely stunning monologue. He tells the story of how he met Tyrion as a baby and how Cersei has always wanted Tyrion dead. Oberyn wants justice for his sister and volunteers as champion for Tyrion so he can kill the Mountain. At the Eyrie, Sansa builds a sick snow castle, and that little asshole Robin ruins it. So she slaps the shit out of him. Littlefinger talks to Sansa and goes extra hard on the super creepy energy. He tells her that he killed Joffrey because Joff hurt the ones he loves. He then tells her that she should have been his child and decides that it's a good time to kiss her. Lysa, shoot your shot, my dude. Lysa was big spying on them and freaks out on Sansa, threatening to push her out the moon door. Littlefinger arrives and gets her to stop by promising to send Sansa away. He tells Lysa that he's only ever loved one woman, Catelyn Stark, and shoves Lysa out the moon door. And that is the end of a fan-fucking-tastic episode. Zach, I have not done the math. We'll probably do a ranking at the end of the series like we've talked about before, but this has got to be a top 10-ish, 10, 12-ish episode.
I feel like that's maybe underestimating some other how many incredible
there's
episodes
a lot of incredible episodes, but I fucking love
it's at least in the conversation.
It's in the conversation. Join the conversation. Hashtag join the conversation. Start to finish, every scene, even including Daenerys' scene, there is great stuff. Yeah. Like, there is not a weak link in this episode. And even though there are some episodes that maybe have, like, bigger, more impactful, more, like, memorable events, like, I truly cherish an episode like this that is just wall-to-wall greatness, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. I mean, honestly, it's kind of much like how we felt about episode Fire. No, well, I mean, yes, but episode 2 of House of the Dragon. I mean, it's like this is what makes rich and dense and just really full television. Like it's packed with just wall to wall, just like you said. Yeah, big fan. This is what makes Game of Thrones. It doesn't have to be giant production, explosions, dragons, although that stuff is cool and I appreciate that stuff as well. This is just masterclass.
Yeah,
directing and acting wall to wall.
The biggest like action sequence in this show is Arya and the Hound, like Arya quickly stabbing that guy and the Hound snapping that,
which is
stick.
great, by the way.
Which is great, but that's the other thing. Like you said, it doesn't need that to be great. Like most of this episode is like conversations, but they're all so good. Speaking of, this episode is an absolute like quoting machine.
Oh yeah.
I was writing down so many fucking quotes from this episode in my notes because there are seemingly an endless amount of them. And Zach, I started to realize that there was a disproportionate amount of just savage lines in particular, just like savage burns.
Interesting. Okay.
So I decided to do a list, which we have not done in forever.
Oh, we love lists. The people love lists.
People love lists. So I would like to share with you my top 10 most savage lines in this episode real quick, and we can talk about these more in detail as we go through the episode. But there was some savagery laid out in this episode. So starting at 10, going from least savage to most savage.
You going bottom to top like
I'm going
like
bottom to top. You know me. This is Brienne to Hot Pie when he asks what happened to her, and he starts to say, and then she just goes, the quick version.
The quick version.
Quick version. Savage. Number 9, Sansa to Robin. Robin's talking about how he's so important to the Lord of the Vale, and Sansa at one point just kind of goes, yes, you certainly are. And it's just like, you can tell she does not believe what she's saying. Savage. Lysa to Sansa. Don't be coy with me, you little whore. That one kind of explains itself. Number 7.
I'm a little disappointed you have that at 7. That's way too direct for your liking.
Don't be coy with me, you little whore. That's 8.
Oh, well, either way, yes.
I mean, that's kind of high. Bronn to Tyrion. This is a great line. If I gave you the choice between fucking Lawless and fighting the Mountain, you'd have your britches down and your cock out before I could blink. Again, self-explanatory savagery on that one. Tyrion to Oberyn. This is number 6. God damn this fucking scene. Making honest feelings do dishonest work is one of her many gifts. That one's less savage, but it's also just amazing. And
an incredible line.
Yes. Number 5. I love this one. Bronn to Tyrion. If I wanted wits, I'd marry you. Just great stuff between these two. This is Hot Pie to Brienne, Podrick, really anyone in particular. Some people settle for plain old beef kidneys. Got no right to cook anything, them. Hot Pie is just putting every cook on notice. Like,
dude,
just a blanket burn for every cook. They don't got no right to cook anything. Top 3. These are the true savagery from this episode, Zach. This is Brienne to Pod when he says he doesn't want to offend her. Brienne in rare form this episode, honestly. She tells him, you're not interesting enough to be offensive.
Dude. Just savage, as you said.
Savage stuff. Number 2. This was after I had gotten this one and already written down the first number 1. This is what gave me the idea for this. I was like, man, there's some savagery in this episode. This is Mel, our girl Mel, to Queen Selyse.
Oh.
When Selyse asks her, did you have to use the love potion on Stannis? And Mel just, no.
No.
Just, no.
You fucking seen me?
Have you fucking seen me? Just, no. And then she almost has like a little chuckle as she says it too. It's amazing. But far and away, the number 1 most savage thing said and done in this episode is, I gotta give credit where it's due, a character I don't even love that much, Dario 2.0.
Oh my god,
to Jorah Mormont. as he's leaving, doing the walk of shame, says to Jorah, who is obviously very in love with Daenerys, she's in a good mood. Oh,
Just absolutely fucking savage.
fucking savage. Poor Jorah.
He kind of does like the little like chest.
Yeah,
pat,
He does like the hey,
you got
bud.
this. She's in a good mood.
She's in a
don't
good
worry.
mood. I gave her the good
I
loving.
sweetened the pot for her. For you.
Oh my god, so much savagery. Such good stuff. And that's not even all the quotes I wrote down from this episode, by the way, because it's real good.
I'm glad you're doing so much heavy lifting on the note taking here.
You didn't do anything as usual?
No, honestly, I mean I have notes on this episode, but the only line I wrote down was the making honest feelings do dishonest work is one of her many talents.
We'll get to it.
Because it's just so good.
But you legitimately could have written down every line from that scene.
Yes.
Because
you probably did.
Just fucking great. I think I got one or two more. Let's do what we do and now go top to bottom.
You gotta change it up every now and then.
Yeah. Bottom to top before, top to bottom now. Give the variance.
This season just truly, especially when it comes to like the Tyrion dungeon scenes, is just the gift that keeps on giving.
And it's multiple times in this one episode.
Yes. But we've already seen some great Tyrion dungeon scenes this season, and boy are they ramping up.
Yes.
It's just fantastic. Jaime Tyrion, always an absolute pleasure to see them both in the same scene. The one call out I had here that I especially loved, which is more of a character moment rather than a performance thing, is Jaime kind of calls Tyrion it's like, you fell in love with a whore.
Yeah.
And Tyrion's like, yeah, I did. And I was stupid enough to think that she had fallen in love with me too.
Yep.
And you can kind of see in Jaime's face, and the fact that he doesn't press him on that he understands.
Yeah.
He knows. I mean, he said it himself. We don't choose who we love.
Right.
And he just accepts it. He understands that this is not Tyrion being a lustful shithead.
Right.
He truly fell in love with her. And 100%. He understands.
I'm glad you called that out, because that is one of my favorite parts in this scene. It's a phenomenal scene. It's not too long, but it is phenomenal. The other part I loved from this scene is when Tyrion is kind of on a rant about how Jaime is the golden child and can get away with everything, and he goes on that rant about like how you can kill your king, get your hand cut off, fuck your sister, and Jaime just jumps in and just goes, "Careful, I'm the last friend you've got."
Dude.
And it's just like, these two have a very close relationship, and Tyrion is the only one who can, quote unquote, get away with saying these things about Jaime.
Right.
But there's still like a limit there, like these things still, bother Jaime. Like we had that amazing scene in season 1 where, Tywin and Jaime were talking about, like, Jaime was saying, like, I don't care what people say about me. And, then we find out, yeah, of course he cares. And it's just like the rapport between these two is so good. Like they are so close as brothers, and like, Jaime has always been the one, rock in Tyrion's life that he can count on and rely on, and now Jaime can't really do anything to help him, anymore. Like Jaime tried and Tyrion threw it away, and there's that moment where Tyrion is like, "Hey, you can still fight for me though, right? Like you've got this." And Jaime's just like, "No, dude. I legit can't.
I ain't got it, man."
Yeah, it's so good. It's such a good scene.
Very, very good. My next note is you kind of put this joke in the recap. Hell yeah, the Mountain 3.0, let's fucking go. But I don't know how many
number
castings
we're on. Yeah. Just Mr. Tiny Nipples over here. I'm sure he's a lovely man. I don't mean to insult him. I definitely don't want to insult him.
Thor Bjornsson or some shit.
Yeah,
right?
it's like, yeah. He's Icelandic or something, I think.
He's like
he's.
I don't think he
enormous.
is currently the world's strongest man, but he
was for sure at one point.
he was at one point. Yeah.
He's a monster. These these poor prisoner fuckers just have no chance against him. And Cersei got to be feeling pretty confident about her champion. Because
it's funny. What I especially love about this interaction is like just what a fucking roided out meathead this fucking guy is. Like he's just like, who am I fighting? And she goes, does it even matter? And he's like, nah.
Yeah. It's very good.
Matter.
I love Cersei just like stepping over the guts and the entrails in her fancy dress too. Like she don't give a hell.
Yeah.
Cersei's cool. Let's talk about Arya and the Hound scenes here.
Let's please talk about Arya and the Hound.
So when they first come up on this farmer, I'd forgotten like just this whole big kind of long talk they have with this guy.
Yeah, it's definitely. Yeah, I mean, just like you said, it's just a lot longer than I thought.
Yeah, it's there's substantial and there's good stuff here. This is where we get. I feel like this is a very famous line from Arya where she says, you know, like, nothing isn't better or worse than anything. It's just nothing.
That's all it is nothing.
Yeah. And there's just good back and forth here. Like, he's the farmer says something like, why they're asked like, why are you sitting out here? And he's like, seems as good a place as any to sit. And it's just like, you know, then him and the Hound have the back and forth where he gives him the drink and the guy's like, I wish it was wine. And the Hound, like the most sincere moment the Hound has ever had, where he's like, me too, brother.
Dude, you're fucking telling me.
Yeah.
Been drinking this shit for the last.
Dude. I fucking love me some wine. What did he tell that guy in Blackwater? Fuck water, bring wine. The Hound knows what's up.
Are you a fan of wine? Do you like wine, Scott?
I like some white wines.
Okay, you like the dessert wines.
Yeah, basically.
For the most part.
I had
like
a mimosa actually when I was eating my delicious chicken and waffles the other day too. So.
Interesting.
Mimosas are good.
Mimosa with chicken and waffles. You gotta
have
like
it
some
was
good-ass
kind of
sweet,
actually
sweet tea.
Well, I did actually kind of have it as dessert. I had it after the meal was done. I had coffee.
Cool.
So but I don't drink a ton of wine. The Hound loves his wine.
Yeah. I could go for some wine every now and then. But
I could go for
whiskey whiskey's my drink of choice for sure.
Yeah, we know you love whiskey. Rum is definitely mine.
Interesting.
But yeah, this is just a really good scene. You know, the Hound again still teaching Arya things after he kills the dude. This is where the heart is, and Arya proves what a quick learner she is.
Well, dude, hold on. That interaction I think is fucking fantastic.
Oh yeah,
She's
the whole
like,
thing.
Yo, this is that fucker that was like on the road to the wall.
Yeah.
And the Hound's like, is he on your list too? And she's like, he can't be. I don't know his name.
Yeah.
And there's just kind of like awkward stare down, and the Hound is like, hey, you, what's your name? And he's like, Rorge? And she's like, thank you. And just bop!
Yeah.
Pops that bitch right in the heart.
I do feel like, I do want to say they could have done like some camera trickery or something to make her seem like to do this faster than she actually did it.
It's like her running away from the cave.
Yes,
She's
exactly
slow motion.
what I thought of. I was like, this dude's reaction times are absolute shit. Like, he literally just stands there and lets her do it. You have a fucking sword in your hand, my guy.
Do you remember in Austin Powers, like the...
Yes,
like
it's literally exactly like that. They could have shot that a little better, much like her running away in the cave thing. But it's still cool. Arya's a badass, and I love how the Hound is just like, you're learning. Like, well done. A+ for you. They're great. Except for that bite. That bite is not so great. Why don't we just talk about that now?
Yeah, just get that out of the way.
Yeah.
Well, another great scene.
The human mouth is disgusting, and even more so in these times, I'm sure. That bite is gross.
I like your mouth.
Oh,
you got a pretty mouth.
Please don't say that to me. Please don't ever say that to me again.
You got a purty mouth.
You got a purty mouth, boy.
What is that from?
Deliverance, I think.
Okay.
I've never actually seen Deliverance, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's from. Anyway, this is a notable scene, mostly because of just, I feel like this is a masterful performance, like they all are from Rory McCann. But
right,
this is one of the most, like, we've seen it a little bit before, like in that moment he had with Sansa in Blackwater, but like when the Hound is like vulnerable and like, you know, being honest and just like open with like his emotions is like, it's just so good. Like, he's so good at the acting. I don't even know what to say. Like, just
he's
like,
so good at the acting,
he's so
dude.
good at the acting, dude. When he's just like, it wasn't even the fact that he did it. It was, you know, it was that he was my brother. It was my brother. And it's just like, I just feel for the Hound so much. Oh man, I love Hound.
Yeah, dude. You know, we say this often, and like a lot of y'all out there are probably rolling your eyes every single time, but I just think that like in acting, like just less is more, man. And like it is, nothing seems oversold whenever you see Rory McCann have one of these intimate moments, and it's just so real and quiet, and you feel like the alone that he feels. And I think it's accomplished by the less is more kind of idea. It's so good, man.
Yeah, like when he talks about like the toy, he's just like, you know, there's such like a kid's innocence when he's like,
right?
a childlike innocence when he's like, I didn't steal it, I was just playing with it, you know. And it's just like, and then at the end, like, man, it crushes my soul when he turns to her and he just says, you think you're on your own. Like, he leaves like basically the rest of it even unsaid. Like, I've been on my own, you know, my entire life.
Yeah.
You know, you've been on
always
your own,
on the outs.
Right.
Yep.
You've been on your own for the past however long it's been, years or what have you. But this is the home I grew up in. You know, I've been on the outs my entire life, and it's just, oh, that line breaks my heart.
Yeah. And you know what too? Like, another thing that I appreciate about Arya's character, or just simply just the dialogue writing here, is that it doesn't go any further than that. Like, there doesn't need to be anything else. No. She's just like, hey, let's
at least let me wash it out.
Right. She's like, I know, like, I can tell that you're in a place that you don't want to be right now. And how about I help you be not alone? Let me help you with this, you know? It's so good, man.
They're very, very good. Shocking.
And also kind of a cool call out here, like, for anybody who like has like that type of like trauma, right? Like, where this is like a heavy trauma that the Hound has from being a child. Like, whether this was intentional or not, it's cool to kind of like pick this out. That childlike innocence in remembering is a product of that trauma. Like, he is like he's back in the mind of being a child, you know, during this, and that like that's super real. You know how people relive that kind of shit. So again, whether that was intentional or not, it's just heavy, dude, and you just connect with it because that's some real shit.
They're the best. You know, we call it out all the time, and I don't know if anyone's sick of it, but just like literally every fucking scene between these two is just gold.
Agreed.
The wall stuff is pretty quick.
Alistair is one fucking hell of a villain character, dude.
He is, dude.
It's such a dickbag.
He is such a dick, but I do have a soft spot in my heart for Sir Alistair. You know, the big thing here is obviously just Jon's like, we need to seal the tunnel. You know, Gren pretty much agrees with him, but not many else do. You know, because that's just, they view this as a coward talking, you know, as like, how are we gonna range? How are we gonna, you know, like patrol the forest and do our duty as men of the Night's Watch? And
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I feel like it's more out of fear of Alistair that people are disagreeing.
Maybe somewhat. Like you talking about like the first builder when he asks the first builder. Yeah, maybe somewhat. But yeah, they're not having it either way. And this is just, continuing to set up for what is to come at the wall, which we will get to in a couple episodes. Yes. An extra large jizz fest is coming, is basically what Zach is saying.
I mean, I feel like it's kind of started.
True.
Glad you all bought your tickets to the jizz fest, the Jizzerdome
episode, the Jizzerdome. Mad Max Beyond Jizzerdome. Pretty sure that's on the internet somewhere. So the second of our...
The jizzers on the wall over here, dude.
God damn it. The second of our amazing Tyrion cell scenes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean...
Bronn and Tyrion.
Oh, wait, okay. Bronn and Tyrion, not...
No,
yeah,
we're not there. We're not... We'll save that one. Bronn and Tyrion. We've said it before, but these two are always great when they're together.
Fun.
They're just so fun. I called out several lines from this. Bronn is so funny. If I gave you the choice between fucking the mountain and marrying Lawless, you'd have your pants down and your cock out before I could blink. It's just goated behavior from my guy Bronn.
It is. And you know what? So I have this called out too in my notes. Obviously they're a ton of fun. There's jokes. There's like this kind of like playful, kind of snarky energy that like is always like encircling them. But
yes,
this is a part of it that we never see with like between Bronn and Tyrion. It is gutting the understanding that they have to come to, that Tyrion has to just accept that. I mean, he plays the friend card, which is not something Tyrion does.
There is a true desperation from Tyrion in this scene.
Oh, yes.
And it is tough to watch. And you're right. Like, just like, eventually they come to that understanding, but it's just like, it's tough for everybody. It's tough for us watching. It's tough for Bronn. You can tell he's not, like, happy about it. It's obviously tough for Tyrion because, as he says, it's like, why are you sorry? Like, it's all these things are exactly what drew me to you in the first place,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, their relationship is phenomenal.
Yes.
And this is one of those things that's like, you have to respect the game. You know what I mean? Like Tyrion knew what he was signing up for being with Bronn. He knows this is who Bronn is. He's gonna shoot his shot because he has to play his game. But he's not gonna throw a fit. He's not. It's not aggression. He's a level-headed. He understands. He gets it. Like, yeah, this sucks. And then for me, the part that like kills me is the handshake. Like,
he won't let go.
It's just, it's so sad.
Yeah, dude.
It is just so heart-wrenching to see these two.
You can tell Bronn like starts to pull away, then realizes Tyrion isn't letting go, and he has to do the old like double like hand pat. Like, okay, you're it's okay. Let's go, buddy.
Yeah.
It is heartbreaking. Like, I love
gutting,
these
dude.
two to death, and them, basically saying goodbye. Like, oh man, when he gets to the door, what are you gonna do? And Tyrion, I suppose I'll have to kill the mountain myself. Won't that be a song for the singers? And Bronn, like, maybe the most genuine thing we've ever heard him say, I hope to hear them sing it one day. And it's just like, my fucking heart!
Yeah.
God, dude.
It's so fucking sad.
A goodbye, like, a farewell between these two is, like, something I kind of had forgotten about, but that I realized, like, I never want to see this. This is just like, I love these two together.
Yeah.
But it's a phenomenal scene.
Fucking hell, it's so good, dude.
Yes. And like I said, even the East, even the Daenerys scene has some good stuff in it. Mostly Dario ass for sure.
Oh, you're skipping Mel.
Oh, did I? No, that's next. It's after Mel. Mel's after them.
Oh, okay, you're right. Sorry. It's Dario, Dany, then Mel, then Dario, Jorah.
Sure, except I just put it all together.
Gotcha.
Yeah, obviously, good for Dany, getting her some. She's a queen. She can do as she pleases.
Mm-hmm. Also, Jorah getting cucked.
Also, Jorah getting ultra cuck.
Rip, my guy.
I will say, listen, I am not the biggest Daenerys fan. Like, you're the one that's like always riding the Daenerys train.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's something about the afterglow of the morning after of getting banged.
Absolutely is something about the
this is like that morning after is like the hottest she's ever looked in this show.
Oh my fucking god, you are not wrong, my guy.
She looks pretty good in that scene in particular. I will be the bigger man and admit she looks pretty good in this scene. Which by the way, is just even more has got to be more savage for my poor dude Jorah. Just like she looks so fucking hot.
He's gotta walk in and be like, "Damn, he fucked you good, didn't he?"
Yeah. It's just the utter decimation that Dario levels on him. Oh my god.
R.I.P. my guy. Dude, shambles. This guy is in shambles.
Yeah.
Big shambles. Good for Dario for putting in some work.
Hey, yeah. He's a real like a fucking cornball at the start, like with the I swam to a mile offshore to get you these flowers, and I never met a woman who didn't like flowers. It's just like, dude, shut the fuck up. You suck. You're the worst. I do not like you. And then Daenerys is just like, well, but you are kind of sexy, though, so...
Take your clothes off. And then also, he takes his clothes off, and my guy's got it going on. I mean...
He's got it going on. I love how, when he drops his drawers, she just kind of stares at him and just does the slow, like, wine drink. She's just like...
Okay, that was weird. I heard all of that. I hated every second of that.
You're welcome. That's a bonus. That's a bonus for you on the River fans.
On the River fans.
On the River fans. But no, then, yes. So this conversation between Jorah and Daenerys is the good part of this scene.
Yes. So, okay. I would just like to point out that here in season 4,
here it comes again. I can feel it coming around the bend.
Anybody who dislikes Daenerys' arc in season 8, we are clearly not watching the same fucking show. So, yeah, look, somebody, whenever we're done with this series, one of you guys out there, because I'm bad at this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You guys need to take all the clip together a video, a supercut, of all these us pointing out Dany being a fucking violent, petulant child.
Yeah. Here's the thing I would just like to point out, because I don't want to get this misconstrued.
Okay.
I am still, obviously, we are very much reserving judgment on season 8 as a whole. I think you can correct me if you feel differently from this, Zach, but having only watched it the one time, and honestly, at this point, my memory of it is a little hazy.
Sure.
But I definitely know and recognize that there are problems there. And we will, get into those once we get there.
Sure.
So I don't want this to be come across as a blanket, I agree with everything that happened at the end of the show. And, you're all idiots for not having seen this coming. It's just this one particular thing that people love to point to as it came out of nowhere that, is why we like to draw attention to this. That all being said, I recognize and agree that, season 8, honestly, if you want to be real, season 5 onward has big problems, and we will talk about them. But
season 6 is good, mostly.
Yes.
Mostly good. I mean, there are problems for sure.
There are problems,
but it is mostly good.
Yes, true.
Yeah. Anyway,
but yes, she is just like, yeah, I'm gonna have him just kill every single master in Yunkai.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously, while it may have seemed like she learned a slight lesson when Hisdar told her, hey, my father spoke out against, the killing of those slave children, and you crucified him. She obviously learned jack shit from that.
Yeah.
And now here, Jorah is trying to talk some sense into her, much like Barristan tried to talk some sense into her a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, so my note says Jorah advises Dany of mercy, and he tries to pull her against the ideas of violence and slaughter. And then I have a quote after she, quote, concedes, apparently, with him. It's not really that. She does still go on to finish and say, they will live in my new world or they can die in their old one.
Right.
And
she's setting up an ultimatum.
She is setting up an ultimatum. Only the Sith deal in absolutes.
I've heard that before.
Folks, is called foreshadowing.
Yeah.
This is called putting in the work.
Yeah.
For
things to come.
For things. I mean, for me to come too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
man.
That
outfit.
Can we just talk about how fucking hot Dany
We already
again?
fucking did.
Yeah, no, but can we do it again?
No, we can't. Because we have to talk about how hot my fucking... Okay. Everything I said about Daenerys a second ago, fucking forget that. Because Mel looks so good.
Dude, we get 2 cuck scenes back to back.
True. They're like real sandwiching the cuck scenes here. And I love a good sandwich cuck. Mel has got something going on with her hair in this scene too. She looks so good. Mel does not get enough credit, even though we probably call it out all the time. I love Mel. She's girl.
Gorgeous, dude.
She's
yeah.
And just like, obviously we talked about this joke a minute ago, but her telling no about like the lust potion is just the funniest shit.
Yeah.
Poor Selyse, just getting obliterated by Mel, with zero effort, and it's phenomenal.
I feel like every time Mel is in a scene, it must be very cold in the room. Because her boys are awake. Every time.
Where they're filming is probably very cold. It's funny you say that because I actually just watched this video. I don't know if you watched it, but I sent it to you. Of Charles, it's just Charles Dance interviews. I think the video was
no, I haven't
Charles
watched
Dance acting like Tywin in real life or stuff like that. And there's one part of that where he's ranting about it's from season 1. It's the scene where they're in the war tent, and he's all pissed off because he's like, there are no scenes of the outside. And here we are in this tent in the middle of a field somewhere outside Belfast, and it is freezing. And I'm like, why can't we be in a studio in this tent where it is warm? And I'm just like, I fucking love you, Charles Dance. You're the best. So yes, I say all that to say probably, it was probably very cold a lot of the times when they are filming these scenes.
Athena is trying to say hello.
Oh, Zach's doggy. Is she gonna get up there? Oh, I can see that. There she is. There's Athena. Hey, girl.
Little celeb.
Yeah.
Cameo.
Celeb cameo there. Not much else happens in this scene aside from the fact that.
And she just left. She says hi and literally just walks away.
She's like, fuck this right. Shit, I'm out.
I got my camera time.
Yeah. Selyse is going, or not Selyse. Shireen is going with them. And Mel says the Lord of Light has plans for her.
Dude, can we just other than Mel being hot as balls, it's just not okay, dude.
Listen, nothing has happened yet.
You know what, man? You're right.
But this does not bode well. Let's just
this is what you call.
This is what you call so much foreshadowing.
Yeah,
just so much.
That is
foreshadowing
premeditation right there.
Yeah. Let's talk about this Brienne and Pod and Azor Ahai scene.
Azor Hot Pie.
It's so good to see Hot Pie again.
It is so good.
He's so fucking funny, dude.
It's just so like joyous. Like you hear, and it's like, hey, that's my fucking guy.
It's just
that's
like
Hot Pie.
It's just like an old friend coming back.
Yeah, it's like if it was a sitcom, it'd be the part where everybody claps.
Yes,
like the audience claps.
Yeah. Everyone would scream and clap when he walked into the room.
Yeah.
Big time. How he just sits down at their table and just pulls up a stool and starts giving them a masterclass lecture. Hello and welcome to my YouTube masterclass lecture about cooking. It's the best. I fucking love it.
For only one silver dragon a month, you guys can learn how to cook like I do.
Just don't give up on the gravy. Just don't give up on the gravy, and you got to get real calves kidneys. That's what I learned in Hot Pie's masterclass.
Yeah.
And he busts out the winter hell line again, which is just a great.
Well, he also
callback.
busts out the. Are you a knight?
Yes.
No.
Just.
Oh, well, you've got armor. Most people who wear armor are knights, and she's like.
Dude, just phenomenal callbacks to Hot Pie. He is a simple lad and does not really learn his lesson very well because Arya told him it was Winterfell and he still calls it Winterhell. And the whole the armor and night thing. It's so good.
He definitely could have been playing a little dumb.
Oh, when he's like, you mean them from Winterhell?
Yeah, because like
I don't think he operates on that level. Let's be honest.
He maybe doesn't, but I mean he really cares about Arya.
He does legitimately,
and I think I do like because he opens back up once he realizes that, or when Brienne tells him that she is pledged to Lady Catelyn. So he definitely could have been like trying to.
He could have. The Brienne doesn't intend to like hurt Arya. And just like the direwolf bread thing is just so sweet. Like,
and it looks a lot better this time.
It looks so much better. Like last time, what did she say? Like, that's the tail there. Like she super wasn't sure. It's just great stuff. Love Hot Pie. Brienne was likable in this scene. What the hell?
Yeah.
What is happening? This
Pod
episode
is also just always a treat.
Pod is a treat. This episode is so good it makes Brienne likable. Like, and Daenerys hot. Like, what are we even talking about? This is a top 10 episode.
And there's a good scene in the East.
That's what I'm saying. Do you want to finish with Oberyn and Tyrion or the Eyrie?
I want to finish with Oberyn and Tyrion.
Okay, let's talk about the Eyrie then.
Yeah, so Lysa's dead. All right, let's talk about Oberyn and Tyrion.
You mean you don't want to talk about my dude, Aidan Gillen's just... We talk about master classes.
I don't want to talk about this dude saying that you should be my daughter and then kissing her. Dude, it's just not okay. It's not acceptable.
Those two lines being back to back, like dude. Just like, what are you thinking, brother? Like,
it's not okay.
You should have been my daughter. Let me kiss you. It's just like, what?
Yeah, I do need to call this out. Sophie Turner, man, something about, and same with Mel. Something about the fair skin with the deep red hair.
Yeah,
ooh, just looks great. This is the start of Sophie Turner. Just yes.
That snow castle she's got is pretty rad. Well done there.
Yeah,
it's not easy to build like such intricate things of snow. I would know. I have tried.
What are we talking about here?
I'm just saying. I say all this to say that I'm every time Robin is on screen, I am angry again that they changed his name to Robin. I have to call that out again. Fuck that little asshole.
What's his name supposed to be again?
Robert. He's named after Robert Baratheon. Bobby B. But
that's almost more of a slight than him being named Robin.
True, kind of true. Yeah.
Come on.
But that's like in universe, and that's kind of like the joke is that he's literally the opposite of Robert.
Yeah. Fair.
Anyway, I remember this scene vividly from the book. I think it's the last chapter of book 3, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think you're right, dude. It has been fucking forever for me.
When Littlefinger is just like, I've only ever loved one woman, and in the show he says your sister, and in the books I'm pretty sure he just says cat, and then pushes her out. It's good stuff. It's just utter savagery, and I remember like not seeing it coming when reading the book, so I feel like it is a pretty shocking turn at the time.
It is, yeah, definitely. This dude is just relentless, man.
Yeah,
he really is. Like him trying to shoot his shot with Sansa is one thing, and then walking inside and killing the. I mean,
his
I guess
wife?
she's not. Yeah, I mean,
That's
his
his
wife,
wife?
but also like this is the Lady of the Vale. Like this is.
Yeah.
Like, yes, they're married, but like the veil's still hers.
Yes, he is like a consort, basically. Yeah. I do appreciate how when Sansa's like, I shouldn't have done that. I hit him. I shouldn't have done that. And he's like, no, his mother should have. And it's just like,
this is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, step in the right direction, hopefully, for that little fucker. But this was a shocking scene when it happened, and we will see the repercussions of it play out over the next couple weeks, if my memory serves.
Yeah. I do want to call one thing out here too. Sansa is finally starting to ask questions with suspicion rather than with naivete.
Yes.
Why
did you really kill Joffrey?
Exactly, right. Yeah. Mind you, she still does get played. And, like, he gives her the whole, like, for love, yada, yada, which may be halfway true. I think it's just a half-truth.
I think it's partial true, yeah.
But, he gives her the smile, like, and she smiles back, and she's like, okay, like, I get this, because she still believes in love and whatever. So there is still, like, an innocence to her and this, like, naive kind of, I think, like, just worldview about her, but she is starting to challenge that.
She's taking steps in the right direction.
Yes, and I think that's important for where her character will eventually go. And it's just so refreshing to finally see some growth and some change from Sansa.
For sure.
Because, man, Sophie Turner is very good on screen, but, like, she needs more to do. And so I think that's step in the right direction, going that way.
Yeah, for sure. It is tough because even the source material in the books, I felt like Sansa didn't have enough to do.
Right.
So
yeah,
it is tough. Anyway, let's talk about the scene of the episode.
Let's.
When we talk about how much we love Oberyn, the first thing that always comes to mind for me is his introduction.
This is with the stabbing of the hand.
Yes. But maybe it should be this scene more realistically, because this is I feel like what got Pedro Pascal every acting job he wanted, basically from here on out.
Aside from him being hot as shit.
Well, that and just like his fucking unbelievable charisma, but just like his delivery of this monologue is just phenomenal. And
dude,
not to be outdone, Peter Dinklage's like reactions to it are equally as good.
Yes.
It's so good.
Do you know what it is? Fucking Peter Dinklage, like, cause there's been a couple episodes recently where like I have had trouble with Peter Dinklage's performances.
Mm-hmm.
And I said it earlier with the Hound scene, but the less is more thing.
Less is more. Yeah.
When he is doing this quiet show of emotion, I am sold. This is real life.
That's when he's at his best.
When we see this performance, like this man is hurting.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, it is so good, man.
Like I said, I think at the top, like I literally could have taken and written down nearly every single line from this scene, because it is just that good. One of the funny ones that I had to write down that I liked is when Oberyn first comes in, and he says like, I did spend some time with a stunning blonde the other day, and Tyrion goes, "Oh, do tell. I've got every kind of filth down here except the kind I like." And
Yeah.
I'm just like, the cheeky little bastard, even in probably, one of the worst situations and worst spots emotionally of his life, the dude's still out here making jokes.
Not to mention, from his perspective, a handful of days away from being
death.
killed.
Yes.
Yeah, man, it's something else. So this monologue, dude, is can we nominate this for one of the best scenes?
Oh, abso-fucking-lutely, it's not.
Okay, because this needs to be in that hat.
Yes. Again, I said when I talked about this being the possibility of a top 10 episode, I feel like offhand this might be a top 5 scene for me in the entire show. Like, I think that this scene is that good.
Wow. Okay.
It is in rare company for me. Like I said, like just his Pedro Pascal's just delivery when he's like, "Oh, we heard about the monster, like a claw, one red eye," and then he's just like, "That's just a baby. We told Cersei." We were like shocked. We were like, "That's not a monster. That's just a baby."
Your head was a little big.
Yeah, it's
the
just
arms
like
a little small.
Man,
but that's just and what makes his delivery so much better is the cut to Tyrion reacting and like just seeing how much that truly means to him.
Yes.
To just be viewed as just a human. Like he's just truly a person.
Because it's so like
it's all he's ever wanted.
The hurt is there from like Cersei like basically wanting him dead, much like his father from the moment he was born. But anyone that will like speak up for him and on his side, as Oberyn does here, is just, that's like almost a new thing to Tyrion. And you can tell like there's that gratitude for there. Also, we talked about it earlier in the episode, but the bond between him and Jaime, being illustrated here again when like, Oberyn says like your brother made her stop, and showing us that Jaime was protective of Tyrion from day one, basically.
Yeah, from day one, yeah.
It's just such a phenomenal scene. Like I rewatched it twice because I was just like, man, this is great stuff. And just like to have like that unbelievable emotional scene and also pull off the unbelievable hype of the way it concludes with him standing up and, well, I think before he stands up, he's like, "And what about what I want?"
Yes,
justice.
And that's when the music starts to swell.
Yes, and then he just, justice for my sister, for her children. I will start with Sir Gregor Clegane the Mountain, and just the final line of will be.
Hold on, wait. The cut to the flame light being directly behind him is just so fucking epic and dramatic. I will be your champion.
Yep. It's so good.
And the music is oh my,
and then Tyrion's just perfect. Like happiness and relief and just like the joy that's on his face like as he realizes there's a chance. Because you're right. He had basically at this point probably resigned himself to death. And now there's hope. There's a chance. It's unbelievable.
It's masterclass, really, man. It's just I'm glad that you have me thinking about like where this would fall in top scenes, and I'm sure it's partly due to recency bias, but like this is
it's real good.
This can go toe to toe with almost any like short form performance in the show.
Yeah.
It's fucking fantastic. So
Holy
shit, man. We hope you guys loved this episode as much as we did.
Yeah.
Are we done? We've got to do our Who Be Thrown In, right?
Yes,
Anything else you want to mention?
No, I did have one line here that I actually forgot to call out. This is from the Daenerys and Jorah scene. Props to Jorah again. I don't know if we gave him enough credit when we talked about that. But he was great in that scene, despite having just been absolutely decimated. He tells her, "The slaves you've freed, brutality is all they've ever known. If you want them to know something else, you'll have to show it to them." Good stuff from my guy, Sir Jorah.
Sound advice.
Sound advice.
There are several of you little fucking. I shouldn't be such a dick. There are so many people who will defend Dany through thick and thin, and they will use this as an example of how she does listen to reason. She does take advice.
Yes.
Come on, guys. Like, if you are trying to teach your child right from wrong, and they say, okay, fine, but
here's
if that
your
other
ultimatum.
kid, and gives you an ultimatum, you're not gonna be okay with it. That is not genuinely taking in your advice.
Yeah.
That is not them learning morality from that experience and how to treat people. That's not how that works.
For sure.
So just go to therapy, you fucking idiots.
Go to therapy. That's that is all I've got. I had to call out because that was another good line from Jorah. But that is everything I have. Let us go to Who Be Thrown In.
Who Be Thrown In.
Where we last left off last episode. Tyrion had taken the number 1 spot for his amazing performance in the trial. Tywin was 2. Davos, I forgot Davos was a baller last episode, was 3. Jaime was 4, and Cersei was 5. It was the Lannister show plus Davos, basically. This week will be different. Boy, it's tough though. So Davos,
one of those is gonna stay up there.
Yeah, probably at least one. Davos
2 if we're including Sir Pal.
Sir Pal always stays up there. Cersei was not in this episode. It was amazing when Tyrion and Oberyn were talking about her, though. It was very, very good. We didn't call that out enough, but the making dishonest, or what is it again? Making honest feelings do dishonest work is one of her mini gifts.
Is just fantastic. Can you get your shit together, Scott, and click on Davos and get him off?
There he is.
You're gonna get him off, eh?
Tywin was not in this episode. Was he? No, he was not. So he can come down. So Tyrion is the one I assume you're talking about as probably stay, but he probably maybe doesn't go number 1. Jaime is still in the conversation. He has a very good scene, but I don't know if he'll make the cut, but we'll leave him up for now.
I think we're going to have way too many contenders.
I think we are too, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Who do you want to nominate, Zach?
The Hound, Arya.
Here's one that I found that definitely needs to be nominated. Oberyn Martell.
Oh yeah, Oberyn.
Littlefinger. Yeah, Littlefinger. Where are you?
Dany. Just because she looked hot.
That's less sure about that one. Where is Arya? There you are. All right, there's Arya. Let's see. I feel like I'll bring Dany up, but I don't know if I can get behind that one.
Maybe Dario.
Dario would honestly be
and
a
for
better
cucking
choice.
Jorah.
That I would be more willing to listen to that.
I don't think you even have Dario.
I don't have Dario, and I also, the other thing is I think we're just gonna have too many options here. I don't think he's gonna
Mel
make the cut. Mel, just because how hot she is.
Yeah, and she cucked.
She did. It's true.
What's her fuck? What's her
I
name?
literally can't find
Celise?
anyone on here. Mel. Who else was I looking for? Ghost. Definitely Ghost. He was a good boy in this episode. He came when he was called. Who else was I looking for?
I don't know, honestly. You weren't looking for Braun, right? I don't think Braun goes.
I do love Braun in this episode, but there's too many good options. What about Sansa?
She'll have her time. I don't think this is it.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I think that's it, man. I think
that might be it. I got Arya. Danny. Danny was
hot
what I
pie.
was looking for.
Brienne.
I would love that. You know, Brienne was the other one I was maybe considering. But I don't think she's gonna make it. Not with the stacked list she's got.
Okay. Can we just
Oberyn has to go one. It's Oberyn or Littlefinger for me. No, I think it's Oberyn because this kind of like we will see there will be repercussions of this. Littlefinger has kind of opened himself up to
some scrutiny here.
So I think it's got to be Oberyn.
Yeah, I agree.
At what?
Yeah, Oberyn had the most standout performance and also is the most epic and made the biggest move in this episode.
And got me the most hype. For sure. Not the most hard. Not to be confused with the most hard.
As we say in Spanish, ¿por qué no las dos? Why not both?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Whatever that means. Is it Tyrion then? Or the Hound?
My opinion is Tyrion. Yes.
I can see Tyrion at 2 just because like he had ran out of shots basically, but Oberyn
he now
he
has a champion.
And now he has a very well-renowned warrior champion. Where are you, Tyrion?
And he had great scenes. It's Tyrion.
And he had like
for sure 3
phenomenal scenes. You're right.
In my opinion, I don't think both the Hound and Arya can make the list. And I think because of the kind of like confessional that we get from the Hound, I do think his performance outweighs her.
I agree.
I don't know. I'm not necessarily petitioning him for him to be next. I think maybe Littlefinger is next.
It's either the Hound or Littlefinger for me. I could go either way, but I think it might be the Hound.
I'm okay with either.
Okay. Let's go the Hound at 3.
The Hound.
And then Littlefinger at 4.
So who's 5?
So you think Arya goes? I don't know. There's a case for her here. She Mel's gone. That's a joke, basically. Okay. Yeah. That leaves us with Arya, Jaime, or Daenerys. I think she's got the strongest case out of those 3.
Do you really? I kind of feel like Jaime does.
Jaime has one good scene. Arya has 2.
has one good scene. What's her second one?
Well, there's 2 scenes. The first one
you're right. Yes,
with the farmer.
Yes.
Yeah, that farmer scene is very good.
That farmer
and she kills the shit out of Rorge, and then when the Hound is making her confessional,
I'm sold. I'm sold. I'm sold.
Good. Okay,
that makes sense.
All right, let's slide Arya up there. We're not forgetting anyone, are we? I feel like
I don't think so, man. I mean, like, not unless like you would actually consider Hot Pie or Brienne. Like, that was the only other like standout.
I would legitimately consider Hot Pie.
Maybe Hot Pie takes the place of Sir.
I kind of like that. I would have to find him though, unfortunately.
No, we can't. We can't actually demote Sir Pounce. It's just not acceptable.
That is not acceptable. Where the fuck is? So I can get her off here.
Hey, does OBS give you the option to like toggle like their transparency?
Maybe.
You should fade Sir Pounce just a little bit, so he's just kind of like a memory there.
So he's like a more like a ghost cat. Is that what you're
going?
Yeah. Dude, I cannot find her there. I actually got her. Okay, let's. Oh boy, Are we gonna try this?
Live editing, folks.
Yeah, live.
Let's see what happens here.
Position, size, rotation, crop. It's not there.
Okay, don't worry about it. You're gonna fuck something up.
Probably am. Yeah, I don't think I can actually.
Okay.
Filters. Oh. I can make him sepia tone. How's that?
I feel like we're about to hear "In the Arms of the Angel."
Action movie, Sir Pounce. Oh! Fucking scary go. Yeah! Fucking hype, terrifying Sir Pounce. No, that's too terrifying. Shit, where was that? How did I get that? There we go.
Dude,
let's go sepia tone, Sir Pounce. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
It's like the scene where Mufasa like comes out of the clouds to talk to.
I was saying it's like Sir Pounce in memoriam. Like this is like the fucking picture they have of him at his wake. Like it's just like he left us too soon. That sweet child. That is it for Who Would Be Thrown In. And I think that's it for us this week, pal.
Yeah, guys, we appreciate, as always, y'all listening. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Smash that like button.
Why was that in quotes?
I don't know, because I think it's fucking cringe when people actually say like and mean that.
True.
We appreciate the hell out of you guys for hanging out with us, and we will see you guys next week.
Don't
Bye-bye.
forget about the gravy.
Yeah, you can't do it. You can't forget about it.
You just can't. Don't give
Also,
up.
sign up for Hot Pie's masterclass on gravy.
Big Hot Pie fan.
Teach you about making the baby gravy.
He should have made the list.
He probably should have made the list.
He probably should have made the list.
We gotta get the hell out of here, Scotty.